Is Tom Cruise dating Ana de Armas? That's the million-dollar question.
Do you believe in
See, I'm
love?
not good at this.
Love at first sight.
Absolutely.
It all started on Valentine's Day, or, well, the day before. On February 13th, Tom and Ana were spotted grabbing what was described as a totally platonic dinner in London. According to insiders, the meal was strictly business, just two professionals discussing potential collaborations. Not exactly date night material, especially since their agents were there too. And let's be real, leaving with their leftovers in tow isn't exactly the height of romance.
It all makes sense.
Then a month later, the rumors kicked up again. On March 14th, Tom and Ana were spotted arriving at the London heliport via helicopter. And just the night before, they were spotted at the exact same place. Coincidence? Maybe. But it definitely makes you wonder, where were they coming from and where were they going? I need answers.
Something happened to you.
I'm in love.
Neither Tom nor Ana has commented on the rumors, but here's where it gets interesting. After their first dinner, Ana was spotted out with her rumored boyfriend, Manuel Anido Cuesta, who, by the way, happens to be the stepson of Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel. So, if she's already linked to someone else, does that mean there's nothing going on with Tom? And speaking of Tom's past relationships, what would his ex, Katie Holmes, think about all of this? Honestly, probably nothing.
I don't think about it. I really don't.
She's been living her best life, far away from her ex. Just recently, she was spotted strolling through NYC with her and Tom's daughter, Suri. Now, here's something you might not know. Suri is officially in her college era. She kicked off her freshman year at Carnegie Mellon University last fall after graduating from Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Performing Arts, the same school that counts Jennifer Aniston, Adrian Brody, and Timothée Chalamet among its alumni. Pretty impressive company.
Yes, I mean, it feels wonderful.
And here's an interesting detail, her name in the graduation program, Suri Noel instead of Suri Cruz. Now that says a lot, doesn't it? So it probably won't come as a surprise that her relationship with Tom is pretty much non-existent. Reports say they've been estranged for over a decade, and it's not just Tom who's out of touch with Suri. She hasn't kept in contact with his other children, Connor and Isabella, whom he adopted with Nicole Kidman. Sources suggest the Church of Scientology plays a big role in this distance. Tom himself has acknowledged it. When asked if Katie Holmes left him in part to protect Suri from Scientology, the Mission Impossible star simply replied, that was one of the assertions, yes.
Been Scientology for over 30 years, and it's something that, as you know, without it, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a beautiful religion.
Back in 2012, when Tom and Katie split, she got full custody of Suri. And as part of the settlement, Tom agreed to pay $400,000 a year in child support until she turned 18. Well, guess what? That agreement officially ended last year. And speaking of rumors, there was a big one floating around about Suri recently. Some reports claimed she had access to a massive trust fund from Tom, making her an instant millionaire. But Katie wasn't having it. She shut it down on Instagram, calling the claims completely false and telling the tabloids to stop making stuff up. Holmes has always been protective of her daughter, and she's made it clear she wants to keep Suri out of the spotlight, especially considering how much attention she got as a kid. In an interview last year, she said, "I'm very grateful to be her parent. She's an incredible person."
Because she makes every day great and awesome and better, and I know myself more because of her.
How sweet is that? It's clear she truly cherishes their bond. Now, how did Katie, Tom, and Suri end up so distant? To get the full picture, let's rewind and see how Katie managed to break free from Tom and Scientology. It was back in 2005 when the pair went public with their relationship, and it wasn't long after that when they announced their engagement. At the time, the two were completely head over heels in love with each other, gushing about their new love interest during almost every interview.
You know, I'm fortunate. She's an amazing woman.
Remember that famous interview where the actor jumped on Oprah's couch to show the world just how obsessed he was with his new love? The two impatient lovers were very eager to start a family and welcomed their daughter Suri into the world, about 7 months before they were actually married. Unfortunately for Suri, she was not about to get any siblings anytime soon. As in an unexpected turn of events, Holmes filed for divorce after 5.5 years of marriage. There have been many speculations as to why Katie was so desperate to get out of her relationship with Tom. By now, we all know that Tom is a member of the Church of Scientology. In fact, he is reportedly one of the top 3 in command. And although Holmes converted, she has admitted that Scientology was also one of the reasons she wanted to get a divorce. Katie was overwhelmed with anxiety as she started to worry about the future of her daughter. Katie's family admitted that she had reason to believe that the actor would abduct Suri and intimidate her into joining the Church of Scientology. She knew exactly just how much Scientologists involve themselves in the lives of their members, given they were the reason she met Tom in the first place. That's right, get ready for one unique start to a relationship. Turns out that the risky business actor had his eye on Katie long before she was even aware that he knew who she was. It all started after Tom's divorce from Nicole Kidman, when he decided to get back into Scientology while at the same time growing desperate to find love again. Unfortunately, it wasn't so easy as he had a rather large obstacle ahead of him. You see, Scientology has a certain procedure for how they expect their members to find suitable partners. At the time, there were even rumors that he had, quote, auditioned women to become a possible future wife. But a source of the church rectified this statement, claiming it was all a big misunderstanding and explained what actually happened. Turns out that several young women were vetted by the church and, quote, tried out as Tom's next wife before Katie was chosen. Unlike the other actresses Cruise had approached, Holmes seemed to embrace Scientology, which was a major win for them. It wasn't long after that until Katie was asked to audition for the next Mission Impossible movie. Although she didn't get the part, 6 months later, Klein and Holmes announced their breakup, and just 1 month after that, Tom and Katie made their red carpet debut in Rome. Coincidence? Unfortunately, we'll probably never know. But it wasn't always sunshine and daisies for the couple. In fact, for Katie, it was far from it. Given how big of a movie star her husband was, it's not surprising that Katie grew tired of being known as Mrs. Tom Cruise. After getting married, she completely lost her identity and sense of self, and unfortunately, her career was in shambles as well. She saw actresses like Michelle Williams and Anne Hathaway, who were with her on the show, and felt disappointed with the turn her career went compared to theirs. She quickly became desperate to become her own woman again, one with an independent and exciting career ahead of her. Holmes started to realize that part of the reason she wasn't being hired anymore was that people didn't want to have Tom Cruise around on set. He was reportedly very controlling over what kind of movies and scenes she was allowed to do, supposedly at times even telling the directors how to do their job. This turned out to be a source of depression for Katie, as she no longer lived the life she once hoped for. She felt as though she had no other choice but to secretly come up with a plan to escape. And so she did, completely blindsiding the 58-year-old with a divorce. The actress planned to file for divorce months before she broke the news to Cruise, with a whole step-by-step plan on how to get out of the marriage. She used disposable phones whenever she made calls involving the divorce and hired 3 law firms in 3 different states. All this effort to avoid Cruise and his staff knowing all of her plans. Makes you wonder just how involved was the actor in her life. And because the Church of Scientology insists on divorces being handled internally, Katie had no choice but to blindside both Tom and the church by handling it all outside of their jurisdiction. Tom was shocked and extremely disappointed when she broke the news, but he agreed to make things easy for both of them, and it only took them 11 days to come up with a settlement. Katie's #1 concern was for her daughter, and thankfully for Holmes, she received primary custody of then 6-year-old Suri. Suri Cruise is without a doubt one of the most famous celebrity kids in the world. Unfortunately, the former It couple's divorce had a traumatic effect on the little celeb. Tom and Katie's relationship ended up gaining a lot more attention for 2 major and shocking reasons. The first reason was due to the Blind Side, and the second was because after the divorce, the Mission Impossible actor cut all ties from his one and only biological daughter. Yeah, you heard right. Poor little Suri Cruise was only 6 years old when her happy family was shattered into a million little pieces. After the divorce, Katie received primary custody. The settlement granted visitation rights to Tom, allowing him to see his daughter for 10 days every month. But it didn't seem as though he ever cashed in because since their divorce, Katie Holmes has been raising their daughter all by herself. Being a member of the Church of Scientology, he was, quote, not allowed to see Suri or to have a relationship with his daughter due to the fact that she does not follow the same religious practices. There has, however, during the past few years, been speculation on this matter. A source of the church opened up to the media and mentioned that members are allowed to see their children of other religious faiths. It was in fact the actor's choice to cut ties with his one and only daughter. During the past few years, there have been rumors that Cruise wanted to reunite with his daughter, that he regrets spending so much time apart, but there is still no news that he has made an effort to see her. Now, you would think after their divorce, Katie would be photographed with at least 1 or 2 Hollywood bachelors. Well, think again. It's rumored that Katie and Tom's divorce settlement stipulated that she was not allowed to publicly date for 5 years after their split. This would account for why, until 2017, Holmes appeared to be far away from the dating scene. But that doesn't mean she wasn't dating. Katie Holmes was in fact in a long-term relationship with Jamie Foxx during this time, but only made their relationship public after the 5-year contract with Tom ended. As for Tom and Katie, well, guess we'll just have to see what information is revealed next. There is no doubt that they were by far one of the most unique and controversial couples Hollywood has seen over the years. With a story that is without a doubt one of a kind from the beginning to the end,